if you don't know who I am, my name is Bradley Baldwin. I am the senior coach over at Icenhower Coaching and Consulting, and they asked me to start doing these monthly webinars on a relevant topic. And a lot of these things have to do with new agents that are just getting in the business. Some people are more experienced. Some people have a team. Some people are broker owners. It's a kind of a variety of things. I'd be happy to do it. This is what I do. I've been a coach now. This is my 11th year. Um, I own a real estate team. I'm in the process of opening up another brokerage here in Dallas, Texas. I've been around real estate since 2002, and I've been around a long time. I've sold 2,971 units. I sold a few. So I've been there and done that, and I'm not just somebody here teaching from theory. So that's who I am. And I don't really like to talk about myself. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. This webinar is called The Leader's Role in a Changing Market. And the reason I wanted to do this topic today is I am on social media, lots of. I'm on there all the time for various different things. Because a lot of my clients that I coach one-on-one, some of them are on this call, I like to look and see what they're putting out as their content and give them feedback to help them lead better in their real estate team, maybe get some more deals, whatever that might be. And the funny thing that I see is a lot of people that post content are so-called gurus, or I even see leaders and team leaders and brokerages owners doing this. They post things on social media and they're having conversations in their team that from being around for a long time and studying leadership. I'm one of John Maxwell's personal group coaching masterminds. I study it. That's what I do is I study leadership. And one of the things that I've noticed is some of the things that they post online are simply going in the wrong direction. And I think the reason is, at least this is my theory, is most people have experienced their real estate sales between 2018 to now, or maybe 22 to now. They haven't been around long enough to see the ups and downs in real estate markets, and they're having troubles leading through that. And some people are leading too quickly. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today. Um, the first thing I want to talk about is I like to tell little stories, right? So I was sitting in Atlanta, Georgia at the Ritz-Carlton one time, and this is one of my very first speaking things ever. And it was like 11, I think it was 11, maybe 12 years ago. And there was one of my all-time favorite friends and mentors. Her name is Diane Kokoska. She used to run MAPS coaching at Keller Williams. She invited me down to this thing, and I want you to talk about. I think I was talking about inside sales or something like that. I don't know what it was. But that's not the matter of fact. I'll tell you a quick story. I was sitting there. I was having breakfast, right? And this is back when we all wore suits and ties. I had this tie on, and I was eating a breakfast taco, and the salsa spills all over my tie, right? And I'm wiping it up, and I want to change the subject real quick. I talked to this guy next to me. I said, man, what are you doing here? He's like, well, I'm speaking today. I was like, me too. I'm very nervous. It's my first one. He goes, well, I've done it a lot. I said, what's your name? And he goes, my name's Don Yeager. I said, oh, the editor for Sports Illustrated. He's like, yeah, that's me. I'm like, awesome. All right. The guy across from me was the CEO of Ritz-Carlton Hotels. I'm sitting there with salsa on my tie, right? And I'm telling you this story because I got in a conversation with Don, and he was telling me, he's asked me about like sports, and people that know me know I'm a sports nut. I love all sports. I love sports. I love that. I love playing sports. I played college football. I played competitive sports in high school. I've coached a lot of sports. I'm into it. I like it. And one of the things that he taught me is you can learn a lot of great leadership skills through different coaches and different people in sports. I said, all right. So some of these people I've studied for a long, long time. And so when I reference a sports person on some of these kind of calls when it talks about leadership, that's what I'm talking about because I think that coaching sports right? Or being somebody that's a coach or in a leadership role has to know the philosophies on how to move people. If you look at some of the great coaches and you talk to the players that played for those guys, they're like, that coach could move men, right? He can, or they can move women, or they can move people, and they can move people to make them do things that they never thought possible. And I think that if you had to nail it down, I believe that's what leadership is, because a lot of the things that I see and hear on a lot of different, you know, things on social media and people that get up on stage and talk at their national conventions, I think they're sending the wrong message to the people that they're trying to lead. And I think they're trying to attract people to them. And actually, what they're doing is repelling them. Like, let me give you an example. I see a lot of people go up and talk about, all the thousands of homes that they sold, and they're on private jets and that they rented, by the way, they don't own them. Um, they are talking about, this extravagant lifestyle that they live and on all these things, thinking that they drive Lamborghinis and McLarens and things, which is all cool. Don't get me wrong. I like that stuff too. Um, but yet they're using it to say, look at me. Do you want to be like me? Come join my team. Come be with me, and I get you there. And that's kind of the wrong thing when you talk about leading people. And I think a big problem in our industry when you start leading people is you don't know how. And you don't know what the right things are to say. And you don't know who to point to get help from. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. So let's start this. And why does most leadership fail, right? So real leadership isn't loud and it's felt, okay? People don't want to follow noise. They want to follow intent. So people can feel your intentions long before they ever see your results. And so I was on a call with one of my clients this morning, and he was talking about the struggles he had with people coming to his team meetings and the struggles he was having with the agents. And he fires a lot of agents and he hires a lot of agents, and he's talking to them and trying to push them in a direction that they don't want to be pushed in. And that intention is for his own growth. And that's kind of the problem. So we talk about leading in today's world and people that don't know how to lead. You need to go back to a speech that Nick Saban did. I think Nick Saban is probably one of the best coaches around. He coached for Michigan State, LSU, and Alabama. I think a few others. And anybody in the college football playoffs, all those coaches worked under Nick too. Fun fact. So he says a lot of things that resonate with me. And I was watching a speech that he did the other day. I said, this would be good for our webinar. And he said that leadership is not about someone else's growth. It's not about you in the spotlight. And people can feel used, they'll pull back, right? When people feel seen, supported, and trusted, they lean in. Okay, so what does that mean for us as real estate people? So a lot of times when I see young leaders leading their people, they're talking about the numbers. They're talking about, don't you want to make $1 million or whatever it is? Don't you want to make this amount of money, and you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to do this and do that and do this and I did this and I did this. Well, if they could do what you do as a leader, they probably wouldn't need you. So they attracted to you for some reason, right? They're in your web, so to speak. They're at your brokerage or at your team. So they got them that far, right? Now your job actually is to help them grow, whatever that might be. That could be professionally, that could be personally, that could be getting them out of debt. It could be having a healthier lifestyle, whatever that is. Your job is to find out what makes them click and try to make it about them, not make it about you and what you want to do for your goals. So I see a lot of people come in to our coaching program sometime, like, I have standards. I want my agents to sell 36 homes a year. They're going to make 20 contacts a day, and bam, 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 or they're fired. Nobody wants to work for somebody like that. right? That's not leadership at all. That's why they have a whole lot of large turnover. I see that a lot when people say, well, I've got standards. What do you mean you got standards? I got standards too, right? They have core values. That's fine. But not everybody wants to sell 36 homes. Do you know one thing? If somebody sold 36 homes, they'd be in the top 1% of all the realtors in the country. And you're telling me you want a team of the top 21% of the country? Great dreams, but that's it. It's a pipe dream. It ain't going to happen. Because that person that wants to sell 36 homes, they may or may not want to do that. Your job is to have a variety and diversified group of people, right? There's because some people they if selling 10 homes and they're making $70,000 a year, that's more money than they ever made in their entire life, and they're perfectly happy and perfectly calm doing that, and you're helping them grow, and they like being a part of your team, and they're smiling every day. Don't punish them for doing what they want to do. Your job is to pull out their potentials and show them that they can do more. And if they want to do it, you'll help them get there. But when they feel used, they're going to pull back. And that's why they don't show up to your one-on-one meetings. That's why they don't show up to your huddles. And that's why they don't log into trainings. And that's why they don't do any of this. It's not so much for your core values. It's not so much the way that you're running your team at per se, but it's these things that they feel being used. So I would have you guys do a deep dive on the people that you're leading and look at those people and say, all right, how am I treating this person? Do I know their birth date off the top of my head, right? Do I know things about their family if they have one? Maybe if they're single. Do I know what their goals are? What is about that? Do I know what's important to them spiritually or not spiritually? Do I know everything? Do I have the book on this person, so to speak? When you sit down and you do that and you know what makes people tick, your way that you can lead them is to make that tick happen, but it's by their own intent because it's something that they want to say. People won't say no to their own goals. You know, my doctor can tell me to lose weight every single doctor appointment, but if I don't want to lose weight, in one ear and out the other. If I want to lose weight and I say I want to lose 20 pounds and they get me on a program to do it, I said I want to lose 20 pounds. Your job, trainer, your job, doctor, your job, dietitian, is to help me do that. Same thing with real estate sales. They want to do something, find out what they want to do, and your job is to help them lead into that, right? That's a big thing that I think is missing a lot in today's world. There's another little reference I'm going to give you here. If you do know sports, you know this guy. His name's Mushan Muhammad, right? He played for Michigan State. And he did something really bad when he was in college. I think he got a DUI or something like that, something really bad. And the entire media wanted to kick him off the team. And everybody was, poaching their coach, kick him off the team, do this, do that. Well, you know, the coach looked at it and said, you know what? I'm going to give this kid another chance, right? Because you believe in him. A lot of times leaders, they need to see potential where other people think there are problems. So what I see in real estate agents is they fire people too quick, right? I think the problem is they're blaming the agents and they're really not looking in the mirror to see what you did wrong, right? Now, that Sean Muhammad person, for instance, they did give him a second chance. The coach made him do stuff and he did all this. Guy went on to play 13 years for the Carolina Panthers. He's got 7 kids. One of them goes to Princeton, right? He's a very successful company. So who was wrong? Who was right in that situation? If the coach didn't give him a second chance, believe in him, show him his problems and how to correct that, he would never have been the person that he was, right? And we do that a lot in our leadership too, as leaders and as broker owners, team leaders, and things of that nature. Or even yourself, if you're a solo agent, you kind of beat yourself up so much and that you're not giving yourself a second chance and you're not breeding off those little potentials that you have, and you're seeing it as a problem. So kind of framing that, right? Let me get you into something that kind of frame this conversation. Okay. I saw this post. I don't care. I mean, I know the guy that wrote it, I like the guy, right? So I'm not saying something about him, but I must have seen, before I share my screen, I must have seen 9 posts about the same post, right? And the things that they said about the post and the comments that they said about the post, I want to show you where the leadership opportunity is in this, okay? So let me share my screen. Okay, I saw this post. 40,000 deals canceled December 2025. High costs and inspection jitters are killing sales in Atlanta, Jacksonville, and San Antonio. Lead the way. Well, and then I saw multiple posts about the same thing. And if you look down into these comments here, um, if you look down in these comments here, you can see all the negative stuff that they talk about this post. So what did I say about that, right? Anybody who's coaching me one-on-one said they're talking about the wrong thing. They're looking at the problem and they're saying this, these leaders, so to speak, are saying, here's this big problem, guys. And what do you guys think about it? And this and that. But they're not telling them actually how to solve the problem or actually if even if it's a problem at all. See, when you're the higher up in the food chain that you are as a leader, so to speak, you don't have the right to post things that you don't have knowledge on or you don't know how to fix just to get views, just to get people to influence on you, just to get people to say, look at me and how smart I am. Because all the people that did it, right? All they did was cause a bunch of fear. And right now, as leaders in today's market, there are so many changes going on. You know, not only the stuff with the NAR and all that, but we have a lot of political changes. We have a lot of markets that you guys, frankly, if you haven't been in the market since 2010, you probably have never even seen. Okay. So I had one of my clients that I work one-on-one say, oh my God, we're all freaking out. We lost a bunch of deals too. Okay. And the leader is sitting there in the spotlight, not knowing what to do. Here's what coach told me to do. I said, well, number one, okay, we have fallout all the time, especially in rockier markets. Things go up and down so much that we do have a lot of fallout. The problem is that your agents don't know how to deal with it. Your agents listen to all this stuff and now they're listening to you to do it too. That's not your job. So these leaders in today's market, we got to look at some of these things, interest rates, inventory, cancellations, all these things is what we call normal. Those of us that have been around for a long time know that this is pretty normal. This, in fact, this is probably one of the most normal real estate markets we've ever seen going into 2026. It's actually, in my opinion, I think it's going to be awesome because we have high inventory, we have inventory growing, and we have interest rates kind of coming down a little bit. And we got people that have been sitting on the sidelines for 3 years trying to see what's going to happen. I think it's going to explode, but who knows? I would never go out and say that publicly because I'd be wrong. My job as a leader, as a coach, as anybody, is to help my people navigate through this. So you guys can learn stuff from this too. You can follow the noise or you can make the noise thinking that it's helpful, but all you're doing is hurting it. Not one single coach, not one single person came on there, not one single leader came on there and actually told their agents how to fix it, right? I told them how to fix it. I'm going to make a video here how to fix it too. The problem is they don't have the skill to negotiate. So I told you I'm not going to sell anything. I'm not selling anything, but I'm going to tell you what I did is I do have an awesome course here. It's called Negotiation Skills Training. And you can actually log in and take it for free if you want to. I think so. If not, you might have to pay something for it. If you coach with us, you get it for free. This particular course tells people how to negotiate. Negotiate everything. Negotiate with the buyer, the seller, hold the deal together. I talked to them about how to get a pre-inspection, maybe even get a pre-appraisal, a marketing checklist, all these things, what to do, right? To help solve the problem, not create noise. And as a leader, that is kind of your job. You have a right and responsibility. And I hear this a lot. I'm going to do a different spin on this. If you've ever been to one of our conferences, you'll see this thing, rights and responsibilities. The higher up in the food chain you are, the less rights you have, because you have responsibilities to those that are below you. And I say below you, the ones that you're leading. I should say that in a better way. I make mistakes too. That was a big one. There are people that were leading. So you don't have the right to post noise. You don't have the right to post things on social media about what's going on. I'll give you another quick story. I got an email from the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation today about a specific act that the senators are. It's up on like the voting board, right? And it's something that I'm very passionate about. I want them to sign that into that act to get the funding for these national forests. I can't even post that, right? Because if I did, number one, there's a lot of people that calls it noise. So 50% of the people are against me right off the bat, right? 50% of the people are with me. So the same thing when I'm talking about here. When you post something like I showed you about the 40,000 deals, you better have some facts about it to pop up to help people solve the issue rather than create noise, because a lot of people right now in this industry are creating a lot of noise to get people to follow them, when actually what you need to do is show people how to fix it. That negotiations course that I just showed you, which I had all my leaders tell all their agents how to do, because they forgot how to negotiate with people. 2 years ago, if we got a listing appointment, we started spending the money before we put the sign in the yard because it's going to sell just like that. You guys have forgotten how to do that. It's a little rusty, right? It's a little rusty. And then once we have that leader, the guy I was talking to, instead of making all this fear into your people, if you taught them how to actually do something, it would help out a lot. So a little bit of the things I want to talk to you today was about that, and kind of where you need to be thinking about as you're leading your people into this market change, because we are going through a market change. 10% of your deals are going to fall out, right? It's going to happen. I remember a long time ago, I was in Kansas City running my team, and I had five deals fall out in one day. Bam, just like that. 5 checks. And actually, I did spend the money on one of them. So I've already spent the money, and it fell out just like that, right? I called up my coach and I was like, oh man, dude, I'm just going through it today. I got 5 deals, just bam, just like that. $80,000, bam, just right out of my checking account. He goes, well, number one, they weren't in your checking account. So yeah, well, he goes, yeah, you spent your pendings. That's a big, big no-no, right? So I learned that lesson the hard way. But he also told me, he says, Brad, you're just on goal for your fallout. Remember when we said our plan, we said 10% of these deals are going to fall out. You're just on goal. The way he said that to me, I thought, you know what? The guy's right. I already planned for all this. So let's plan on what I can do to fix it, not dwell on the pain of what's going on. See what I'm saying? Very similar to that post that I showed you, because that's a lot of things that we do. So when you're talking to your people in your team meeting this week, when you're sitting down with your one-on-ones, figure out who that person you're talking to actually is and what they want to do, right? And take some of the things that I'm telling you today, and that will attract a lot more people to you than the other stuff that people are doing right now to attract them to. Because all I can hear about is, we're crushing it and we're doing this and we're on airplanes. And people actually think that they own them. They don't. They just chartered them for the day, right? They might have get 10 people to all chip in and make it sound cool. You gotta look through the noise on that stuff. Don't get caught up in that. And please don't do that stuff yourself, because all you're doing is repelling your team. You're repelling the people you're trying to influence. You're repelling the people that that you're trying to lead. So anyway, get on our website, send me an email if you want to talk more about this or anything actually. And if you want to know more about coaching or anything, we have that on our website. I'm going to drop a link in right here. I've got a really cool course for new agents that you can sign up. It's a group coaching course, $97 a month, and you can be on our group coaching call. I'd love to have you. Even if you're a leader, if you want to join in, that's fine too. But if maybe you own a brokerage, I don't know who I'm talking to, and I don't really like to sell you. I mean, if you think it's cool and you want more stuff, send me an email and we'll get you signed up. If not, thanks for being here.